Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for August 9, 2022, the Mar-a-Lago Searched Edition. And we begin with that story literally from every news organization everywhere in the world that former President Trump's estate at Mar-a-Lago in Florida was raided yesterday by FBI agents executing a search warrant. It appears the search warrant was in relation to Trump's purloining of government documents to Mar-a-Lago in violation of federal law. It's not clear what was in those documents as yet, and so I'm sure we will be awaiting more information on this. But a lot of firsts there, first FBI raid on a former president's estate. First time president has illegally taken documents or alleged to have illegally taken documents with him when they left the White House. Whether these relate to the insurrection on January 6th at this point is unknown. Next up from the Washington Post, the Treasury has penalized a crypto service that laundered funds for North Korea. Tornado Cash, a crypto mixer, laundered more than $7 billion worth of digital assets since its formation in 2019. This is the first instance of a company being caught laundering money for North Korea. Despite its public assurances otherwise, the Treasury Department said that the company has repeatedly failed to impose effective controls designed to stop it from laundering money for malicious actors. So, first time North Korea has popped up in the crypto world. Next up from the New York Times, a huge belts and suspenders project in Kenya, the huge Chinese construction project where they finance massive construction projects along the way, is entitled the, quote, jewel in the crown of corruption. And it turns out that, as I think everyone probably suspected, the Chinese engaged in widespread bribery and corruption to build this huge infrastructure project. It cost a whopping $4.7 billion and has come to embody the corruption and greed among the political elite. It's part of the $1 trillion Belt and Road Initiative, which was aimed to expand China's economic and political clout by funding new infrastructure projects. Final story comes from the Wall Street Journal, and it spoke about the difficulties insurers or companies are having or getting insurance for products and services out of Taiwan now. If you have facilities there, you need to take a close look at this going forward. Obviously, it's going to be the next hot spot after Ukraine. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.